Local 4 News starts now with a forewarned weather alert.
It's been quite an afternoon and evening of weather, and we are not out of the woods just yet. A live look at ExactTrack 4D radar. Forewarned weather team tracking snow turning into rain now across southeast Michigan.
The winter weather's knocking out power to thousands across southeast Michigan tonight. DTE is reporting over 100,000 people are without electricity.
Yeah, we need to update our number there. It just keeps ticking up hour by hour. Live look at the roads right now, a contrast from what we saw earlier tonight during that messy evening commute. Road crews working to try to keep the highways clear, but now rain coming in, but there's more trouble behind that. Good to have you with us on a busy Friday night in the Local 4 newsroom. I'm Devin Skillion.
And I'm Damon Fernandez in for Kimberly Gill. Let's get right over to Kim Adams with a look at where things stand with this storm right now. Hey, Kim.
Hey, Damon. Well, we've seen the snow taper down and also change over to rain, especially on the east side. Happened right after 9 o'clock. It will change back over to snow, however, shortly. Whatever's left, although it will not be the heavy snow that we had earlier this evening. But I want to show you a few different places, and we'll zoom in here. It's raining downtown, all the way through the downriver area, and all the way up into the Grosse Pointe. Sterling Heights, Warren getting rain. And then as you go back out to the west, you start to see some of it change back to snow again. So that rain snow line goes right through Waterford. It's snowing in Fenton, Heartland, and over into Howell, but it has changed over to rain pretty much everywhere in Metro Detroit. But temperatures are going to be dropping after midnight tonight. Until then, it's still very warm. We're already up to 40 at City Airport, upper 30s Metro, above freezing all across southeast lower Michigan. But as of 2 o'clock this afternoon, we had temperatures that were right at freezing, and we've been rising ever since. So what's going to happen is we'll have that any rain left over is going to change back over to snow, and then tomorrow more snow on the way, another 1 to 3 inches. But the big story tomorrow, the winds causing more power outages. Our high tomorrow officially will be 39 degrees because we're going to hit that just after midnight. But the rest of the day we spend in the 20s with some blowing snow, also the possibility for travel problems. So there is a winter weather advisory that goes all the way until 7 o'clock. We'll talk more about timing of those snow squalls tomorrow and also the winds and how high they'll be. Plus, if you thought you heard some thunder tonight, I'll explain why coming up.
All right, Kim, as we mentioned, thousands of people without power across southeast Michigan because of this heavy snow that we got, but along with the winds that are coming in.
Yeah, you know, Jacqueline Francis is live tonight with what DTE is doing about it. Hi there, Jacqueline.
Before we get to that, we want to talk about the roads here for a second and even show you we're on eastbound 94. Things are so much better than they were earlier. The roads are wet, but that is it, and that is far different from earlier when it was snow and slush. So right now it just feels like your typical rainy night. But again, that evening commute was tough. So many people had to go through it, and some people, by the time they got home, they found out their power was out. Take a look. The lights are flickering in Westland, and it can only mean one thing, a brownout due to the snowstorm.
And I see a lot of lines down right now all over the place, so a lot of heavy snow.
Some people are out of power entirely.
This big tank right here will last me about 6 hours with my generator.
Jim Rudy has been here before.
I got a generator, and it's typical around this area that we get power out like 5 times a year. So
Other Westland residents are learning as they go.
We're native Californians. We just moved out here not too long ago, so we're still getting accustomed to, you know, the power outages.
Across southeast Michigan, DTE is reporting tens of thousands of outages, mostly due to ice and snow building up on tree branches and power lines.
Some teams have already been strategically placed in the field to respond.
The company saw it coming, holding a news conference Friday morning. With more winter weather on the way, it could be a few days before the lights are back on.
We have another house in Saginaw, and we know that the power's on there. We talked to our neighbors up there, so we're heading up to Saginaw. We're going to drive nice and slow.
Nice and slow, that's what we're doing as well. Even though it's just raining, you still want to take it slow tonight. And of course, for updates on those power outages, DTE says to keep checking its outage map online or on the app. Reporting live in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Jacqueline. And a reminder tonight, DTE wants you to remember to stay 25 feet away from any downed wires and don't touch anything those wires may be in contact with. Call DTE at 1-800-477 4747 if you do see a downed line. And also be aware that wires behind yellow tape may still be alive. And we know a lot of people are making use of generators right now, but you should never use a portable generator inside the home. So it's been a mixed bag all over Metro Detroit, starting in rush hour where drivers had to deal with backups and delays, and then turning into rain later tonight.
Along the way, piles of snow, crashes, a jackknife semi on the Ambassador Bridge causing some big-time backups on I-75. Mara McDonald has seen a lot tonight driving around. She's live in Farmington Hills right now. Mara.
Devin, when you put it that way, I mean, is that all? It's been quite a night. I don't know if you can take a look at our live drive cam right now, but we're right behind a truck that is plowing and doing snow here on Northwestern near Orchard Lake, which is one of those major arteries that is pretty pitted up right now. I heard Kim talking about how there is a rain-snow line. There sure is. We're sort of in the midst of it. You know, I looked at Eric and I said, is it raining or is it snowing? He goes, I think it's sort of slushing. That's really what's going on right now. The freeways, we've been on 75. We have been on 696 and others. They're clear right now. It's really sort of a sweet spot on the freeways. But, I mean, if these temperatures drop in the next hour or so, this is going to get ugly. Nobody got anywhere quickly after 3 o'clock this afternoon. The freeways were a slow crawl and really just round one of what is shaping up to be a patchwork quilt of a weather weekend.
We not only are prepping our trucks and now we're actually actively out there treating roads, but we're also, some of our crews that are a completely different set of crews are looking at our pump houses, making sure those are operating properly and ready to go.
In case the rain causes flooding, Wayne, like Oakland, has about 100 drivers on the roads right now. First order of business, clear the snow. We're now in the second part of this equation, which is rain. All that salt that's been put down to help prevent freeways from turning into luge runs, what's being washed off as we speak, which means after midnight, everybody's starting from scratch. Add on top of that, the plunge in temperature, it all adds up to one thing: ice.
We can handle anything. We're response ready here in the county, but ultimately, you know, if I have my choice, I'd rather take what we're dealing with right now over black ice any day.
Back here live in Farmington Hills, we are along that rain-snow line right now. We're seeing it turn over as we speak. If you have somewhere to go right now, now is the time. Get out here and get where you need to be before this all starts dropping temperature-wise. What are we on the truck here? What are we? No, I know, but what temp are we at? 36 degrees. So now's the time to move. Devin, Demond, we're live in Farmington Hills. Back to you.
All right, you guys take care. All right, Mara, the weather could have a big impact, of course, on flights. At last check, FlightAware reports 245 delayed flights and 178 canceled flights. So remember, always check to see if your flight is still on schedule before you leave home and get out into the mess. Now, the other phenomenon that we've seen tonight, kind of there's something almost sort of mythic, I think, about the idea of thunder snow, right?
Thunder snow is very exciting for meteorologists anyway, when we see that lightning and hear the thunder. And I had a lot of calls tonight from folks, and sure enough, we got this picture from 22 and Shaner in Shelby Township. There's the lightning, and then there's a very muffled thunder, and it's thunder snow. In the Great Lakes, it's typically associated with lake effect. That's not what the case was tonight. So let me explain to you thunder snow, because really a winter thunderstorm is not much different thermodynamically than a summer one. So on the left, you've got normal lightning. You have warm air at the surface, ample moisture. You need instability, and you need some lifting mechanism, and that's what happens in the summertime. It lifts up into that cooler air, and then you start to get the electrical charges. You have lightning. Lightning causes thunder. Now, what we have is this setup where there's cold air, but there's colder air aloft. So that's enough warm air in there along that warm front this afternoon and evening that caused instability, and then you get the snow bumping around up there, and you get those electrical charges. Sure enough, there's lightning, and then the subsequent thunder from the expanding and contracting of the lightning. So the difference, though, you can see those clouds there. The cloud tops are not as high in the wintertime, and then also because it's such heavy snow, it's kind of insulated, so the thunder's more of a muffled thunder. And some people thought, well, was that, you know, power lines? Was that transformers blowing? But no, a lot of folks did see the lightning, and you heard the thunder, thunder snow.
How's there never been a superhero named Thunder Snow? I mean, it's just sort of got
I feel a children's book coming on.
I'm already on it, yeah. All right, Kim, you're going to want to keep your eye, obviously, on the Forewarn Weather app as this weather moves through, and it'll prepare you for all the weather to come this winter. You can download it for free in the App Store. Just search WDIV. All right, Detroit police preparing for the Lions' first ever playoff game at Ford Field on Sunday.
Yeah, you know, Chief James White says the city has its normal traffic and crime plans in place. Remember, no weapons are allowed in Ford Field, and there are metal detectors at the stadium, plus no open alcohol as you walk around downtown. Now, the Chief's also recommending leaving early for the game because of more dicey weather, and you got to pay close attention to when you park. And we've got you covered for everything leading up to Sunday night's game here on Local 4. Tune into our All-In Playoff Edition special, Sunday night at 6:30. We'll get you ready with special interviews and some of the Lions fans that make these games so great. Then be sure to stay with us after the game for Local 4 News at 11.